Hello, it's Mike.
Hi, Mike.
Hi, Becca.
You can hear and can you see okay, or you don't have that on?
Uh, no video, just audio.
No worries.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
So are we ready? Call the meeting order. Call the meeting in order of the Jackson County Board of Adjustment and can we have a roll call, please?
Yeah. Dave Kendall,
Present.
Pete Fish,
Here.
John Arns,
Here.
Daryl DeBoer,
Here.
Mike Nicholson.
Here,
They are all present. We have, has everybody, reviewed the minutes of the September 22nd, 2005 meeting? Yes.
yep,
Is there a motion for approval of those minutes? So. Second. Motion and second, all those in favor, motion is an aye. Aye. Item number 3, public hearing, docket 25-11, special exception request, applicant Dennis Hankemeyer. Becca, do you have anything to start with filling us in?
Sure. Tonight's case is 25-11, a special exception request submitted by Dennis Hankemeyer. The subject properties are located in Perry Township along 184th Street with a newly established driveway at 26645 184th Street. The total combined area is approximately 73.08 acres, consisting of 2 parcels under common ownership. Mr. Hankemeyer is requesting a special exception to operate a primitive faith-based nonprofit campground and retreat center on the 2 parcels. The proposal is under the Jackson County zoning ordinance as a special exception use in the A1 agricultural district. The initial phase of the campground includes primitive tent camping areas, 7 portable cabins, portable toilets for sanitation during the early phases, and use of an existing barn as a gathering and retreat space. The properties are zoned A1 agriculture and the use of campground is listed as a special exception. The total acreage and natural features of the parcels are conducive to low intensity recreational use. And the proposed use aligns with the rural character and does not appear to involve much permanent infrastructure added or utilities in the early phase. And included in your packet are the aerial maps and parcel views, the site plan, which is a site plan conducive to show the location of the proposed cabins, access and gathering areas. If the special exception is allowed to go through, Mr. Hankemeyer will be providing better site plans, more specific with all of the parking logistics attached. And notices were mailed to adjacent property owners and published in the official newspapers per Iowa Code Chapter 335. As of this afternoon, no objections or in favor have been received. A list of potential conditions has been provided for the board's review. Those were adapted from previous campground approvals and then tailored to this request.
Any other questions for Becca right now? Dennis, if you want to tell us what your step up to here and tell us what your plans are.
Requesting a special acceptance permit for a primitive disconnect, reconnect Christian primitive type campground. Or there'll be adult groups at times, there'll be children's and families. And I'm gonna have primitive cabins. It's all remote, there's no utilities out there. Restrooms will be porta potties, restrooms, and there'll be permanent ones built in the future. And the 5-year plan, and my goal for the April, I want to have 4 cabins, the we total is 7 or 8. By within a year. Probably by a year when it comes spring. By this April, I want to have 4 cabins out there, is my goal. And have the driveway through that hill. I don't feel that map there, that they're not. Right there, so. Driveway, right where that arrow is, it says driveway, that's sort of level there, and it comes up between the 2 hills. And then it comes around, so those 4 cabins. There'll either be 2 there and then 2 to the lower part on the left side. I want 4 cabins total in April. And that driveway up to the back hill. The one to the right, I wanna have that driveway will be, put in, and 4 cabins by April. And the little orange spots are the location of the porta potties.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Where is this in relation to the existing Allison buildings?
Okay, go back. It's, just, I think if you go down to where you was, okay, right there, that arrow there, straight down, that is the driveway going into what I just explained.
Yeah.
Showed you the house, the buildings would be to the far left down again. Or then to the, okay, now. I'm gonna pull up the pointer.
Yeah, help yourself.
The driveway and the new access coming in off the road will be coming in right about in this area,
Yeah,
and then comes down through there and then comes up
between those 2 hills, okay.
in between the 2 hills,
Yeah.
yeah. And it'll be right up in that area will be the 4 cabins. And, yeah, so it's just down the road from the barn. This is the machine shed, that's not.
Oh, okay, you're across the main road from the
Pardon,
new development.
pardon.
Your existing buildings are across the road.
Yes, yes.
Okay, I get it.
And this is the lodge that I plan to renovate. It was born into a lodge.
And so while you're up there, where's the new road entrance going in?
Sick. Bring that back up, will you back up?
Mm-hmm.
New entrance will be right here,
Okay,
and then it'll come down. It'll cross, it'll come through there, and then it's flat area in there, and right. I guess the driveway will be in this area roughly. And then it'll circle around up here, be fairly flat in the hill, and that's where the 4 cabins will be. And 2 of the cabins will be on the top of the hill there, and 2 of them down below the hill a little bit. It'll be hilly, but not in the flat, which down here is the flat.
thank you.
So this is for the establishment of a non-profit Christian campground and retreat center.
Yes.
As I'm reading this, okay. Is anyone else involved in this other than you?
I've got a team that's a group of them that are helping with that.
Okay,
Talked to all three of my neighbors and they're all good with it. None of them had any. I thought it was good.
So activities will be the year round or?
It'll be, basically April 15th to October 31st. And there's a possibility in the off camping season, the neighbor to the south, possibly, it's a, keyword possibly, might be interested in, because they have a hunting reserve right across the fence. They might possibly be interested in, I won't rent out cabins for hunting, because I don't allow hunting on my property, but if they're interested in renting one, I don't know if that'll go any kind of, renting one or not for this permit, but rather you heard from me than
So
somebody.
you're gonna take payment for, or you're gonna rent them out then sometimes too,
That's,
or not?
for the non-profit profit part. There will be, yeah, I'm not sure how everything's gonna work yet. But it'll, it might just be on, possibly on donations and I'm not real sure. I'll know more after I talk to my attorney. And talk to my attorney wants him, his advice was, if it's renting from that, well, he's looking. He's interested in helping, so.
oh, okay, but the getting the permit part, and you may already understand this. You and I don't know each other, your name is Dennis, I'm John.
Yeah,
Yep, Dennis. It is very frequent, this particular board. At this time, it is very common that if a permit is granted, it is granted subject to certain conditions.
yes, I already understand that. Becca went over.
Okay, well, and the next step with this is that when I read this ahead of time to be prepared for this meeting, I read this as being just what I asked you about initially, that this is the establishment of a nonprofit Christian campground and retreat center. But it could very well be that someone makes a motion to grant that. I'm not saying they're going to, but I'm saying it could be that they make a motion to grant that and then attach certain conditions, like, for instance, that it's nonprofit. And that might very well preclude you from then renting these
Yeah.
cabins out
I understand that.
for compensation. Okay, I just wanted to make sure you understood.
I just talked to my neighbor, it was after I had written up this work, because I was at the end of last week, and then I mentioned it, and he said, well, we have some, our hunters like to ask about where there's a
Yep.
place to stay, and
Sure,
and I don't know what that will.
Yep.
um,
okay,
How that will work, yeah.
gotcha, okay.
Along the same lines, Becca gave us 9 items for, kind of exceptions. To alleviate negative impacts. You look through all those, none of those bother you. That's on our page 7 and 8.
No one read it.
Recommended conditions to alleviate negative impacts. Those might be something that we would include in our recommendation,
We're having 7 or 8.
starting on page 7.
Yeah, I read all that. One more detailed site plan, which that would be a condition of the permit, correct?
He's talking about at the very bottom of that page, recommended conditions to alleviate negative impacts. Oh, yeah, okay, final site plan, yep, you're right.
Sanitation compliance, emergency access, limit of cabins, lighting, barn structure, time limit. And state archaeologist and emergency access.
Yeah, we'll go. I'll abide by all that.
Yeah.
Hey, this is Mike. I do have a question at the right time here.
Go ahead, Mike.
Back to that nonprofit, Dennis, is that correct, Dennis?
Yes,
Are you establishing a nonprofit organization under a 501c3 or something
no,
like
I'm
that?
not yet, no, I haven't.
Okay,
That's a attorney question, and I talked to him once and he recommended I get the permit, and I'm at see him, he's interested in working on it, but I don't, there's different nonprofit 503s, and I don't know the difference between any of them. That's why I have an attorney, you know.
okay. Okay, just to follow up to that, then if a nonprofit is established and because it's a religious organization, does that exempt this nonprofit from paying any property taxes associated with the property that you put into this camp?
I don't know, that sounds like an attorney question. I don't,
I don't know, I'm asking, but most religious organizations
Right.
that are established don't have to pay taxes on the property that they're
right,
building through time.
yeah. I don't know.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm writing down for the attorney.
Becca, under the way the ordinance is written, can you have a for-profit campground and still have it an A1?
Mhm.
So
It can be proper.
whether he's for-profit or not-for-profit really isn't an issue, it's just it's the campground issue itself.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
okay.
Then sure, if it's gonna be nonprofit or not, I just, yeah, hope so.
And this campground, Dennis, again, this Mike is open to the general public. It's anybody can call you up and say, hey, I like the campground. I'd like to come and stay there. Or is it restricted to friends and family?
Well, it'll be
Or
open
how's
to the public. They won't just come and go as they please, there'll have to be registration, some sort of ahead of time.
Okay,
We won't.
all right.
Everybody's coming and going, no. And there won't be a whole lot of traffic out there where the cabins are. There'll be some down by the entry from the road to become a parking area. There might be a vehicle 2 or 3 spots, really that go up on by the cabins, but vehicles up by the cabins will be very minimal because it's primitive type campground. There'll be a lot of hiking involved, basically, and I might several people up with my ATV too, but there'll be minimal vehicles up by the cabins.
Okay, thank you.
So would you expect the participants to pay something, anything for for their stay?
Yeah, I think everything can be worked out. There'll be a lot of fundraising. There'll be, yeah, there'll be paying something, if it's, and depends on the groups, I want to bring kids out from the inner city and they obviously don't have money, so I'll make it up for more along the line.
Well, I get that. I mean, I think I'm not being very clear with my question. I understand that all things cost money. And if it doesn't come out of your pocket, you're gonna have to raise the money somehow to do this. My question goes more to the person who is coming out to spend the weekend or the week there, whether it's a child from the inner city or whether it's somebody else that registers. Will that person be required to pay something?
The amount that they pay will vary on if it's an adult and family, or if it's gonna be income-based a lot. A lot of it has to be figured out yet. You can't, gonna use that, yeah.
Okay,
But yeah, there'll be a lot of fundraising and,
here's my question, Dennis. Let me be as open as I can. I want to know how we as a board could distinguish what you plan to do from somebody who's gonna have a campground that is open to anyone and they're gonna be making money off of it. And it may start out with 4 cabins and go to 8 cabins, and they may think I wanna have 27 cabins, maybe I wanna have 100 cabins someday. How do I distinguish that situation from yours?
the situation that you were referring to would be campers coming and going, registering, paying a fee like Spruce Creek or 6 Ps.
Yep.
And, where mine will be, they're gonna have to pay, yeah, but it'll be different. Different rates for, different, the family groups will. Because there'll be a registration, probably registration similar, but I bring groups out, would be income based.
So on this 73 acres, are you gonna do any farming on that anymore, or will it be all designated to this?
I board heifers on the pasture area. And actually that south, in section 3, I put that quarter section down because that's what barn is, but that area is mostly ag. With the exception of the buildings.
So you're gonna still be farming?
Yeah. I boarded heifers for somebody and that'll be used for that, yeah, or be, yeah. No,
And are you gonna allow people to bring in mobile campers?
No.
No, mobile.
no mobile, no, it's gonna be, no RV campers or, it'll be just a primitive getaway in there. There'll be adult groups sometimes that, they'll all pay for a retreat getaway
So
weekend.
you're doing this to try and make money? Or well,
No,
what's
I'm not doing it.
what's your motivation here?
My motivation is not make money personally
Okay,
at all. It's,
you want to provide a service to someone else?
yes, that's where I want it to go when I'm gone
Okay,
too, so. No, it's not income based for me at all.
okay.
I think with some of the potential conditions to consider, some of those were kind of specific just because to keep it from looking like a commercial campground and more keep it on the primitive, not-for-profit with a little more stricter parameters than allowing receptions and such with the barns, but and he doesn't want to turn it into a commercial area. He wants to keep it strictly the primitive.
And as one board member, there's not much doubt that I have in my mind that I believe that your intentions are what you are saying they are. My concern as a board member is how we as a board might craft a way to allowing this, but making sure it doesn't turn into something different, such as a commercial based. So we're trying to make $1, you know, as many camps, as many cabins as we can put up, we'll put up, and we'll charge. If you can afford to pay $100 a night, you're gonna pay $100 a night. So how can we do this? Is.
Someone in there said something about monitoring the, campground as it's progressing. And I good with. Someone came on, you know, once or twice a year and checked it out. And see that it's going away.
What do you mean when you say it's faith-based?
There'll be Christian groups, church groups, it'll be different, won't be, it won't be affiliated with any foreign church. But it'll be Christian, like any, Christian church that wants to bring a group out. It will
It'll be available to them.
be available for any church-based group. I don't want it to be affiliated with any one church. I monitor situations like this once or twice a year. That's
A lot of that kind of goes by, complaints, if we receive complaints.
received complaints. I couldn't imagine that because it said something about quiet time, where the whole main purpose is all about quiet time.
And, with any new permit needed, any type of monitoring could be done at that time also.
And what time, if somebody's complaining,
If you, for any of your future expansion,
oh, gotcha, yeah. Yeah, I can keep you informed on the, you know, cabin bill.
because permits will need to be required for any new camping,
Sanitation department for,
the
restroom.
proposed restrooms.
What do you call a cabin?
I call a cabin, and from the rate on the road that's, 16 by 12 by 16. And sleep for up to 86 or 7.
And you say they're gonna be portable, how are they portable?
They'll be built on 4 by 6, either 4 by 6 or 6 by 6 skids.
So you just move them around with
Yeah.
a skid loader or whatever. If you-
Right, yeah.
We have discussed although they're portable, it's best to keep them on some type of a driveway just for emergency access. They'll be labeled or numbered. And
I will. When I have the driveway put in, when I put it in, I couldn't sell. I'll have that, inspected. The driveway, that blue line to the right, that's 4 cabins that's showing there, that'll be the driveway.
And-
The cabins,
he knows that he has to meet setbacks with the
Yeah.
cabins and that they can't be in the floodplain.
there'll be, I think about 60 foot from the property line.
So you're asking for 4 cabins right now?
at first.
Yeah, I want to build 4 of them by April. And maybe the other 4 later, next.
So a total of 8.
Yeah, possibly the other 4, not until the following spring, possibly, see how it goes.
And that's the same with the proposed development of the barn. It will be for, event space for the, campground retreat center, and that will be somewhat renovated just to begin with, so that if they want to have church in it,
Right. Like that. Within the year, by this fall, that summertime.
so at this time, the request only includes the barn and the, portable cabins. Any future requests have to go, back to the board.
And then how about the restrooms? I understood these are gonna be porta potties. Where is there gonna be dumping on your farm?
No, it'll be pumped out. I talked to the guy with the porta potty business and, didn't know exactly how often he pumped them out or.
But you're not asking for the ability to dump
No,
any,
no,
okay.
no.
all right. So what about showers? What
There'll
about,
be, showers, there'll be petitions for showers close to the restroom. The water will be in, you've probably seen these totes, they're about 4 foot square in weight, and be probably elevated a little bit, and that'll be for the showers. And, the pump will run off of either solar or battery. And shower might be able to do it gravity, it's gravity flow. Not anything like that. And drinking water will be buried in.
Dennis, this is Mike again with a question.
Yes,
The road that leads into this campground or whatever, I'm talking the public road. Is it a gravel road that leads in there?
yes,
So with the increase in traffic, especially let's say during the summer, is there going to be a lot of extra dust being churned up that could possibly affect the neighbors such that they will start complaining about it, or is that not an issue?
no, there's no neighbors close enough that the dust would bother. The closest neighbor at that point is about 1/8 of a mile across the field. It wouldn't affect,
Okay,
and they don't live there anyway, they just bought the farm. So nobody lives
okay,
close.
all right. Thank you.
Anybody have any more questions for Dennis? I don't.
No.
Oh, we give it a chance and monitor. I said, give it a chance and monitor. And
Well, we're not in the monitoring business. We have no.
no, Becca said she would go.
Well, with every permit applied for, it can definitely be looked at.
So does you have to have a permit for each cabin? I read this and now I've read for a third time and I'm still confused. What exactly is he asking us to give you?
He's asking for the special exception to have the campground on his. So to be able to have the campground, he needs to have the special exception, and then for the permit would have to follow any conditions that you guys give him. So if he asks for 4, then the permit would allow him to have the 4. And for right now, the special exception, the site plans, work to give you a concept of what he wants there. But then once he applies for the permit, we need the better site plans with specifics as to where they're going to go. So we know that he's meeting the setbacks and, that the more of the renovations of the barn and then the specific parking spots for the barn.
And back out of this, Mike, again, this special exemption applies to a non-commercial campground, correct? This could not be a commercial operation under the exception that we're considering.
Yes,
It campgrounds are allowed in A1 district, but Dennis's proposal is for a nonprofit.
Okay. And I'm going back to what I believe John alluded to, is that, okay, if you're going to keep it nonprofit, what kind of language does the board craft around this proposal to ensure that it stays nonprofit? Do we put in some language that it has to be audited every 6 months, every year to make sure it is nonprofit? And I'm just throwing that out there. What are your thoughts?
a lot of this can't be answered until I talk to the attorney. The attorney told me to get the special exception and come back to see him. And so I can't really answer some of the questions until I get the special exception, because that's when the attorney wants me to come back, so.
Well, the problem with getting the special exception is that I myself, and there's only one lawyer here,
Pardon?
that we're gonna be writing exceptions and things that you have to do and things that to be monitored, or I don't know where to begin. I mean,
Well,
you have no plan, that you just,
what do you want?
I know everybody wants you to start with us because they don't wanna waste their time if we don't give it to you, but in my mind, you haven't really asked for anything. Except for a long list of us telling you what you can do.
And one of the use limitations as a proposed condition to consider is the use is limited to a faith-based retreat campground operated by the applicant and or their nonprofit entity, including associated seasonal gatherings, overnight stays, and programming consistent with the mission described in the application. And it was hard to narrow it down to make it so it's not a commercial, but to keep it the way Dennis is intending to keep it. The other proposed condition, any use of the property for commercial purposes or public events not directly tied to the retreat's mission. So he can't have weddings, festivals, ticketed concerts, or rentals to outside groups, because that then would require a new review and approval by the Board of Adjustment. So all of his events are to be tied to his faith-based retreat.
What exactly did you want for plans? I thought I did pretty good. I had printed them, the floor plans and everything. We'll be looking at grants possibly if we qualify for some grants. And different fundraising ideas.
Is the for-profit or not-for-profit an issue with the board members?
Well,
She's not asking.
categorically it is for me.
Okay.
I mean, It's to me, it would be a major difference if somebody was saying, I wanna open a campground. I mean, this is gonna be, a Spruce Creek campground in the middle of Jackson County. That's a whole different ballgame to me than what he is describing. So we still go back to what I'm struggling with, isn't the fact, Dennis, that you didn't bring us a plan showing us 4 cabins, here's where they're gonna be, here's the road. That's not, my concern is more, how do we know that this is going to be something that you're not doing to make a dollar for, and that it's not going to somehow change over time to where people are pulling in, and we're popping open the coolers and you're charging them $50 a night or whatever. I mean, how do we know that that isn't gonna happen? That's the plan.
So do we need evidence of the 501(c)(3)? Do we need evidence of the structure of the nonprofit? Saying that the nonprofit is the entity that we're giving the exception to, that owns the underlying land. I mean, the land is privately owned, but the nonprofit's the operator. I mean, do we,
It's a good idea. I just thought of that. That's a good idea.
that would give me a different level of
Yeah.
comfort. I mean,
Right. I agree.
I kind of need that.
Yeah. I hadn't thought of that. That's a good idea. But I suppose that's something we could we might still be able to deal with something tonight and make that a condition.
Yeah, make that the first condition.
The first condition, so before, yeah,
501(c), you said, right?
yeah.
But there's different, somebody was telling me there's different 501(c)(3)s, different, there's like 3 or 4.
There are, and I'm not an expert on that, I just know that there are, but I
So why-
hear all the time, it's 501(c)(3).
501(c) is what okay. It's that
Who is your lawyer? I'm just
street
curious.
cable.
Steve Taylor, he's a good lawyer.
But, evidence of a nonprofit structure being the operating unit, even though the land is owned privately, I mean.
But as I'm trying to flesh out this idea, a 501(c)(3), if it's a nonprofit, if it is a 501(c)(3) nonprofit organization, in the eyes of the law, that is considered a person. I mean, it's just like anyone who's for us, it's an entity, it's a person. And right now, that person doesn't exist.
Right.
And so how do we grant an exception to somebody or someone that doesn't exist yet?
Subject to it existing.
I think we make the entity come first and then do the application once the entity exists. And I don't think, speaking personally, I'm not against the idea. I like the idea, I think it has merits, I think you've given it a lot of thought, but I would feel more comfortable proceeding if the entity existed that we granted the exception to.
Who you referring to as the entity?
This 501(c)(3) organization, the nonprofit, that you would create with Steve Taylor.
Basically telling us that you're going to operate as a nonprofit organization. And then this is going to be a nonprofit. I think that's what your intention is. I mean, you're not doing this to get rich.
I'm not doing it to make a dime.
Yeah.
So, so you want me to find and, get a 501(c) and add to the 501(c) organization.
It'd have to be a nonprofit organization. If Steve looks into it and says it's gotta be a 501(c)(2) or C4 or whatever, I mean, whatever.
Whatever your lawyer would suggest,
Yeah,
whatever would fit your tax and what your lawyer suggests.
Basically what you want for the, special exception is, proof that it will be a nonprofit.
exactly.
Right? That's
Exactly.
understandable. And so like you
Yeah.
say, there's no way you know.
Right.
6 months or 6 weeks down the road.
Right.
Yeah, good point. Okay. I will work on that then, and then set up another another meeting, I guess, or what? Or-
Well, I would move that we table this. And give the applicant the opportunity to consider our comments and come back if you can
Do we do an opportunity?
give you
Okay,
an opportunity to come back after creating a nonprofit organization that will then be asking for the exception. I mean, it will be your organization,
yeah,
but yeah,
okay, then you we'll set up another meeting when I get by the nonprofit.
yes, you talked to Becky and then she'll get you on the agenda again.
Okay,
So John, was that a motion to table?
Yes.
Second,
Motion to table and a second, all in favor, motion with an aye.
Aye.
It's table.
Good luck.
thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
did we close the public hearing?
If you have to.
Yes. Next.
Okay. Item number 4 is items from the public.
No items received.
No item
from
from
the
the public. Oh,
public.
items from the board. They got anything they wanna address?
None
Item,
for Mike.
Thanks, Mike. The next meeting scheduled is January 26th, 2026 at 6 p.m.
Very good.
Historically, there has never been a Board of Adjustment scheduled for December.
there's no one, nothing on, no, you're not working on anything.
And there's no,
Okay.
nothing's been presented or.
Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved. Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Dennis got it.
Thank you, Mike.
Harmless.
Thank you. And thank you, Daryl, for stepping in. I appreciate it.
Broad.
Right.
It was all over
You
the
could,
place.
you could drive the truck for that.
Yeah.
It's just, he needs to give some more thought.
What?
Mike said thank you for stepping in.
Oh,
Thanks, Daryl, for taking the lead. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Mike. See you.
Right.
Yep. Bye-bye.
But he
Bye, Mike.
Bye.
gets this here, like what John's saying.